Good morning, folks. Hope everyone's doing all right. Happy Monday. Hope everyone's had a decent weekend. Um, so today's going to be really quiet during the European session. Things apart from durable goods orders on data, it's really quiet, really. But it looks like it's going to be a busy week for traders because we have a lot of speakers, lining up to speak this week, and also data is aplenty. I'm not going into too much on basically what you can see in the morning notes, but highlights. We do have the ECB forum on central banking. That's going to be happening Monday until Thursday. The G7 summit is 2 days, so Monday and Tuesday. Nato Summit starts Tuesday and that goes on until Thursday. And also on Thursday, we have the OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting. So big things happening this week. Lagarde speaks, if I'm mistaken, 3 times this week. So do bear in mind with, again, if you're trading the bond, the recent pivot from the ECB to start hiking rates is renewing fears of a bond crisis, sorry, bond crisis. So just bear that in mind. I mean, headline news, we have, Russia defaulting on foreign debt for the first time since 1918, but it's not really, reverberating into risk assets. And just because, it's been going on for a while, the war, and we all know how things have shaken up or shaped up. Uh, so it was in a way kind of expected, so nothing surprising for traders. Not that it's not a bad thing, especially for Russians and people involved and all these things. Positive note though, Shanghai and Beijing, ease restrictions further. Perhaps that's why we're seeing a bit of a bid on the crude space. I'll get to that in a bit. So really quick look at charts. You have the Dixie over here. Sorry, this is not H1. This is a daily chart. So it looks like we're trying to make a floor over here. At this point, kind of looks like, medium term, short to medium term inflection point over here. So around 103, 500s. So it's not losing its head, level-headed, so to speak. So as I mentioned last week, if the Nasdaq continues on, holds the trade above the basically gap after it filled it, we were going to see that on the spoofs, and that is exactly what happened. So really nice retest on Friday before then continuing on. So I would think buyers would be wanting at this point in time to hold to show support in this gap area here. If not here, even if it fails for a bit of stops getting triggered or whatnot, I would want to see this prior low held. Right, so 58 spot 57s before, considering going long on this market, and that is if the Dixie continues to behave. So that is boost, as I mentioned early on. So crude, just nicely being brought up on that support trend line I mentioned. We are trading, you know, really comfortably above that 106 handle, right? So today itself we've had about a $2 move, so a low of 105, so 105, so trading really close to that prior Friday highs, 108.42. So we're really close to last week's inflection area over here. So 110s being the key resistance at this point in time. Perhaps a test, pullback, maybe retesting the trend line here. Decent long, to be fair. And if you just plot this over here, you could see a break of this, further spurring bulls on this occasion. So for FX pairs, like I said, Lagarde speaking, the G7 summit is happening. What you call this, the European central banking meeting is happening. So do bear in mind, so headline news on the zero would be, you would think it would be messy, but I don't think so actually. I mean, you you're not really expecting a lot of surprises coming from them at this point. Just I would think further reiteration of what they've said, and perhaps what traders and market participants really want to see is sort of not really how they're going to play it. They've been really clear about how they're going to play this, but in terms of how they see the risks that they've been monitoring developing in the near to medium term future. But for now, technicals remain very relevant over here. The support is being held. We've yet to go for a test of the double bottom. Pretty similar thing, quiet trade on the Aussie. But because of the restrictions being eased in China, I would think, copper prices would get a bit of a boost, and this might potentially help this Aussie if we clear 69,500s on the day, hold that potentially long, and I would think we could see a week's worth of basically trade going on the long side here. If I'm being optimistic, right? A break off here, retest of this inflection point, and then off we go. So that's spot 7 handle 705. That's really clear. Spot 71 to be really clear targets to hit basically. Gold is still trading in that potential. It's not yet confirmed, but it does look like it's shaping up to be a bit of an uptrend over here. So uptrend channel, right? So just technicals to keep in mind in terms of correlation. Hope this was useful. This is Reed, bringing you the daily briefing. Any suggestions, comments, please do feel free to leave them in the comments. Cheers.